Okay, this is completely normal mom behavior. This would be me as a mom. I feel like if you're a mom, this is also you. You're just proud of your kid.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Burton. We've got a massive Game 4 tonight out west between the Oilers and the Canucks. Surprisingly, Vancouver's in the driver's seat here, as they're looking to take a 3-1 series lead. Let's start with the huge news. After a disastrous Game 3 in which he was pulled, and just below average play in pretty much his entire playoff career, Stuart Skinner has been benched for Game 4. And Calvin Pickard will get the start. Listen, I love goalies a lot, and I try to put myself in their mindset, especially going into the playoffs. And it's just a lot of pressure to perform. So do I feel kind of bad for Skinner? Yeah, absolutely, especially since he's a Canadian boy. You know, we want our goalies to do well. I don't know, I hope that he finds his mojo in the playoffs still. Now, making the move to Pickard is a risky one, as he's never started a playoff game. In fact, the just under a period he played in Game 3 is the only playoff experience he has in his career. So yeah, he's kind of getting tossed to the Wolves tonight. But given Skinner's playoff track record, it's easy to see why the move was made for tonight. In his 20 career playoff games, Skinner has allowed 4 or more goals 10 times. And unsurprisingly, Edmonton is 2-8 in those games. And Skinner has allowed 4+ already twice in this series. So while it makes sense, a change this late in the playoffs for a cup contender isn't great. We only know if the switch will play off at the end of tonight's game. So, I mean, it's all up in the air at this point. I kind of feel for Edmonton fans, I gotta say. I know what it's like to feel like your top goalie's not in net, so we'll see what happens. On the other side, Sheloff is living the dream, and he's a big reason why the Canucks are in this spot. Last outing, he made 42 saves in the win, and according to Natural Stat Trick, at even strength, the Oilers have only scored 1 of their 26 high-danger chances for. And here's a fun fact about tonight's goalies. The last time these two goalies started against one another in the playoffs, Game 2 of last year's opening round when Abbotsford clashed with Bakersfield. Sheloff's got the win on that one. Another player we have to shout out is Brock Besser, because he's absolutely rolling, riding a 4-game point streak. And he's got goals in 2 straight, which is big for Vancouver considering Elias Pettersson is still stuck on 1. This series has been so entertaining. It's totally worth staying up and just being tired for work the next day, because you never know what's going to happen. It's going to be the same tonight. To the association, we got a pair of crucial Game 5s tonight, as the Knicks and Pacers shift back to New York, and T-Wolves and Nuggets move back to the Mile High City. Let's focus on that Knicks game though. And with this series, we gotta start with injuries, because New York is pretty thin right now. We already know they're without Bogdanovich, Randall, and Mitch Rob, but OG is also out for tonight. On the Pacers side of things, the man to watch is Tyrese Haliburton, who is once again questionable. But he was questionable the last 2 games and did play. And played great. In fact, over the last 3 games, he's hit 17 triples. And just look at that swag he reacts, pointing at Dante DiVincenzo saying he can't guard me after that 3 Sunday. I love a good taunting, I love drama in basketball, this is why we watch. And you can watch the Pacers and Knicks tonight on TSN. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And after that, it's Game 5 between the T-Wolves and Nuggets.
You know, great play callers.
Okay, this one is a game changer. Time now for my favorite segment and yours, that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
And this is a new drone cam that the UFL is using. And we need this not just in the NFL, but every sport immediately.
You know, great play callers do not get bored taking a profit. Brock, I always would say guys that can repeat concepts that are working are the ones that are most patient.
Okay, it was almost like he didn't know the drone was coming, which kind of made it better. But if these guys know about the drone and can start selling with the drone, that takes it to another level. I love this. Plus, we love drones. We love racing drones. Let's go back to basketball because this is a historic night tonight. The WNBA season begins, but more importantly, it's the official WNBA debut of Caitlin Clark. To say this is the most anticipated debut in WNBA history is an understatement. This girl was the reason all of our eyes were on NCAA March Madness. Like, she was the one, she was the reason. No one else pulled in her kind of numbers. Clark set a Fanatics record for most jersey sales of any rookie on draft night just over a month ago. And yeah, while the record didn't last long, the fact that her jersey sales are competing with NFL players is outrageous. And FanDuel has a ton of fun markets for her rookie season. One I know I'll be splashing is that triple-double bet. But also gotta love those last 3 just for the value. And you can watch Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut tonight on TSN. Carriage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Isn't that fun that TSN has this debut? I'm excited about this, okay? This is a big deal, not only for WNBA women's sports, I just feel like the bros are watching this too, okay? It's not just the women, the bros are all in. Now joined by our guy, big-time newsbreaker Matthew Shinetti to talk about Canada soccer. Matthew, good to see you.
What's going on, Marissa? Yeah, it kind of seems like you should have like newsbreaker in the lower third there with a voice that just goes, newsbreaker. Something like that. I don't know. What's up?
Well, when you beat Fabrizio Romano to the punch, you're kind of a big deal. Although I like that it's just two Italians beefing out there, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what the world needs. Two Italians trying to debate who the bigger deal is. Yeah, the world needs more dramatic hand gestures.
Okay, Matthew, Jesse Marsch is the new Canada head coach. How did this all go down?
I was speaking to my sources yesterday, and they said the candidates have been whittled down to three: Stefan Kuntz, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Jesse Marsch. And they had all been interviewed in New York City by General Secretary Kevin Blue and a collection of former players that included St. Ricketts and Atiba Hutchinson and Josh Simpson and Rob Friend and Julian de Guzman. And they were all impressed with Kevin Blue. That's why late yesterday I was hearing that Marsch was the last candidate standing, because he provided a presentation that not only focused on his coaching style, but how that would apply to the current men's team. And this was the guy that Kevin Blue apparently always wanted. And we're talking about what Jesse Marsch brings. Well, he is a tactician in the sense of his experience coaching in European soccer, especially in the Red Bull system with Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg, to say nothing of what he did helping Leeds avoid relegation a few years ago, although obviously he was fired in the season after. But this is a significant moment, knowing that Kevin Blue and that search team got their guy.
What should expectations be for Marsch heading into Copa this summer?
Yeah, what are the expectations? Well, Canada will face the Netherlands in Rotterdam, France in Bordeaux, and then Lionel Messi and the World Cup champions Argentina to open Copa America on June 20th. And Jesse Marsch, in the system that he coached with all those Red Bull teams, likes a lot of running and a lot of pressure. He says he has the talent to do it, but if you're looking for expectations, it's just getting through those games and seeing if they have that style of play, that intense running. Marsch says he has the talent. Jonathan David, Kyle Larin, Alphonso Davies, Tejan Buchanan, Stefan Eustáquio, Ismail Kone, Alistair Johnston. But as one of those players said to me, who wanted to remain anonymous, when he knows how much running he's going to have to do, what Marsch is going to expect out of him, he said, F me.
I feel like that's all of us when anybody has to do any kind of cardio. I respect it. It's relatable. Thanks, Shooter.
Thanks, Marissa.
It's Tuesday, so we gotta finish with our anytime goal scorer bet. And we're looking at tonight's game as a prime Connor McDavid revenge spot after he took that cross check to the face to end game 3. But no, we're not betting him to score, which is at plus 120. We think he's gonna dominate the way he typically does with his passing. And after a pair of scoreless games, it's time for friend of the show, Zach Hyman, to get back on the board. And you can get him at even money on FanDuel. You know I love Zach Hyman with my whole heart. He's just such a nice guy. Honestly, this season couldn't have happened to a better guy, really. But he does kind of just wait in front of the net. All the memes that we're seeing about Zach Hyman, accurate, funny, which is why you should bet him. But also doesn't matter as long as the puck goes in the net. And it will tonight at plus 100. That's all for today with Stuart Skinner. New Pacific. Have a good one.